The moment we were born, they started telling us who we are. They told us what we could achieve, what was possible, and what was impossible. And many of us believed them. We took those limitations, those false boundaries, and we made them our own. And that, my friend, is the greatest tragedy. Your life right now, every single thing you see around you began as nothing more than a thought, a vision, a seed planted in the fertile soil of your mind. Everything that exists in your world was once invisible. Your home, your relationships, your career, your health. All of it started as a mere thought before it materialized into physical form. But here's what most people don't understand. Visualization without a belief system is just daydreaming. And that's why so many people visualize success but never achieve it. They're missing the crucial element, the belief system, that transforms visualization from a mere mental exercise into a powerful full force that shapes reality. I want to ask you something right now. Look around at your life. Is this what you truly envision for yourself? Or have you settled for less than what you know deep in your heart you were destined for? Many people live their entire lives never realizing that they've been given the most powerful creative force in the universe, the ability to see what doesn't yet exist and bring it into being. But this power remains dormant unless activated by a specific belief system. Let me share something powerful with you. The universe doesn't respond to your desires. It doesn't respond to your wishes. It doesn't even respond to your prayers. The universe responds to your beliefs. What you truly believe in the core of your being is what manifests in your life. This isn't some mystical concept. This is how the human mind operates. When you deeply believe something is possible, your brain begins to notice opportunities it previously filtered out. Your actions align with that belief. Your decisions support that belief. And within as little as 3 days, you begin to see evidence that confirms what you already knew was possible. 3 days may sound impossible to you right now. You might be thinking, I've been working toward my goals for years without seeing results. And that's precisely why we need to reshape your belief system. The first component of this transformative belief system is absolute certainty. Not hope, not wish, not desire. Certainty. When you are absolutely certain of something, doubt cannot exist in the same space. And where doubt is absent, powerful action emerges. I once met a woman who had been trying to start a business for 7 years. 7 years of planning, researching and preparing, but never launching. When I asked her why, she said, I'm waiting until I'm ready. But here's the truth. Readiness is a myth created by fear. This woman didn't lack information or resources. She lacked certainty. I challenged her to adopt a new belief system for just 3 days. For 3 days, she would act as if she was absolutely certain her business would succeed. Not hoping it might work, but knowing it would work. For 3 days, she would make decisions from that place of certainty. On the first day, she called 5 potential clients she'd been too afraid to approach. 3 of them agreed to meet with her. On the second day, she finalized her pricing structure, something she'd been perfecting for years. On the third day, she signed her first client. Was it magic? No. It was the power of a transformed belief system. When she shifted from I hope this works to I know this works, everything changed. Her body language changed. Her voice changed. The questions she asked changed. And most importantly, her actions changed. This is the first secret of the 3-day belief system. Absolute certainty creates immediate momentum. The second component is what I call reverse engineering belief. Most people try to succeed first and then believe. They say, once I see results, then I'll believe this works. But that's backward. Belief doesn't follow success. Success follows belief. Think about it this way. Would you plant a seed and then dig it up every few hours to see if it's growing? Of course not. You plant the seed with the certainty that the laws of nature will take over. You don't need to see the sprouting to believe it's happening beneath the soil. Your dreams, your visions, your goals, they're seeds. And your belief system is the soil, water, and sunlight that allows them to grow. When you doubt, you're essentially digging up the seed, interrupting the very process that would bring it to life. So the second secret of the 3-day belief system is this: act from belief, not toward it. For the next 3 days, I want you to make every decision, speak every word, and take every action as if what you desire has already been secured. Not as if it might happen, but as if it has already happened in the invisible realm and is now simply manifesting in the visible. A young man approached me after a similar talk and said, "But what if I do this and nothing happens after 3 days?" I asked him, "What have your current beliefs produced in your life so far?" He was silent. Then I asked, "What's the worst that could happen if you tried this for 3 days?" Again, silence. Finally, I asked, "What's the best that could happen?" His eyes lit up as he contemplated the possibilities. The third component of this belief system is what I call immediate identity alignment. Most people try to do things differently without becoming someone different. They try new tactics while maintaining old identities. This never works. If you want to be wealthy, you must immediately adopt the identity of a wealthy person, not after you have the money, but before. If you want to be healthy, you must adopt the identity of a healthy person now, not after you've lost the weight. Your current conditions are simply the physical manifestation of your previous identity. To change your conditions, you must first change your identity. And unlike conditions, which may take time to shift, identity can be changed in an instant. For the next 3 days, I want you to introduce yourself to yourself differently. When you wake up in the morning, I want you to look in the mirror and declare who you are becoming, not as a future event, but as a present reality. I am a successful entrepreneur. I am in a loving, supportive relationship. I am financially abundant. I am physically strong and healthy. Say it with conviction. Feel the emotion of it being true right now. Then throughout the day, ask yourself, what would someone who is your new identity do in this situation? And then do that. I worked with a man who had been struggling with his weight for decades. Diet after diet, program after program, nothing seemed to work long term. I told him to stop trying to lose weight and instead focus on becoming a healthy person immediately. For 3 days, all he did was ask himself before every decision, what would a healthy person do? When offered dessert, he asked, what would a healthy person do? When deciding whether to take the stairs or the elevator, he asked, what would a healthy person do? When choosing what time to go to bed, he asked, what would a healthy person do? After 3 days, had he lost all the weight? Of course not. But something more important had happened. He had established a new pattern of decision making based on a new identity. And that new identity, over time, created new results. The fourth component of this belief system is what I call evidence hunting. Your mind is constantly looking for evidence to support what you already believe. If you believe you're unlucky, you'll find evidence of that everywhere. If you believe opportunities are scarce, you'll find evidence of that too. But the same mechanism can work in your favor. For the next 3 days, become obsessed with finding evidence that what you desire is already happening. Look for the smallest signs that your vision is materializing. Did someone compliment your work? That's evidence you're becoming masterful. Did you have an idea that excited you? That's evidence your creativity is flowing. Did you notice an opportunity you might have missed before? That's evidence abundance is finding its way to you. A woman in the real estate business had been struggling to close deals. I told her to spend 3 days hunting for evidence that she was already a highly successful agent. The first day she remembered that a client from 2 years ago had referred someone to her evidence of her impact. The second day she noticed that out of 10 agents in her office, she had made the most calls that week, evidence of her work ethic. The third day she realized that a property she thought was overpriced had actually sold for asking evidence that her market knowledge needed refinement. By the end of 3 days, had she closed a big deal? No, but she had shifted from seeing herself as a failing agent to seeing herself as a growing agent with specific areas to leverage and improve. Within 2 weeks, she had closed her first deal in months. Within 3 months, she was consistently closing deals. The fifth component of this belief system is what I call future gratitude. Most people express gratitude for what has already happened. And that's beautiful. But there's a more powerful form of gratitude, being thankful for what is yet to manifest as if it already has. For the next 3 days, end each day with a gratitude practice focused on thanking the universe, God, or whatever higher power you believe in for already answering your prayers, for already bringing your vision into reality. Thank you for my thriving business that impacts thousands. Thank you for my body that's full of energy and vitality. Thank you for the abundant financial resources that allow me to live generously. Speak these words with emotion. Feel the gratitude in your body. Let tears of joy flow if they come. This isn't pretending, it's aligning with a reality that exists in potential, waiting for your belief to draw it into your experience. A single mother with 3 children had been struggling to make ends meet. Her electricity had been shut off twice that year. She began practicing future gratitude every night, thanking God for her financial stability, for her ability to provide abundantly for her children, for the peace of mind that comes with financial security. Within 3 days, had she won the lottery? No, but she had received a call about a job opportunity she had applied for months ago and forgotten about. Within 2 weeks, she had started in a new position with better pay and benefits. Within 3 months, she had saved enough for a small emergency fund for the first time in her life. Now, I want to address something important. Some of you might be thinking, this sounds like magical thinking. Like if I just believe hard enough, a new car will appear in my driveway. That's not what I'm saying at all. This belief system doesn't replace action. It transforms action. It doesn't eliminate the need for work. It makes your work exponentially more effective. It doesn't change the external world through mere thought. It changes you. And then you change your world. The sixth component of this belief system is what I call purposeful visualization. Many people visualize outcomes, the house, the car, the relationship, the bank account. And that has value. But far more powerful is visualizing yourself taking action with absolute certainty. For the next 3 days, spend 5 minutes each morning visualizing yourself taking bold action from a place of complete certainty. See yourself making the call you've been avoiding, having the conversation you've been postponing, creating the boundaries you've been neglecting, taking the risk you've been fearing. Don't just see the outcome. See yourself as a person who creates that outcome through aligned action. A talented artist had been talking about holding his first exhibition for years, but always found reasons to delay. I told him to spend 3 days visualizing himself taking action with certainty. He visualized himself approaching gallery owners, presenting his work with confidence, handling rejection with grace, and persisting until he found the right venue. After 3 days of this practice, he approached a local cafe out displaying his work. They agreed. It wasn't a prestigious gallery, but it was a start. The exhibition led to 3 sales and an introduction to a gallery owner who attended. Within 6 months, he had his first proper gallery show. The final component of this belief system is what I call identity-based decision making. For the next 3 days, make every decision based on who you're becoming, not who you've been. When faced with a choice, big or small, ask yourself, what would the person I'm becoming choose? Then make that choice, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it breaks a pattern, even if it contradicts your history. A man who had been in debt his entire adult life began making decisions based on the identity of someone who is financially wise and abundant. When friends invited him to an expensive dinner, instead of automatically saying yes and putting it on a credit card as he had always done, he suggested a more affordable alternative. When shopping for groceries, he made choices aligned with financial wisdom rather than temporary pleasure. When he received an unexpected bonus at work, he put it toward debt instead of treating himself. After 3 days, was he debt-free? No, but he had broken a lifelong pattern of decision-making that had kept him in financial bondage. Within 6 months, he had paid off his smallest credit card. Within a year, he was completely debt-free for the first time in his adult life. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. 3 days isn't enough time to change my life. And you're right if you're talking about completely transforming your external circumstances. But 3 days is more than enough time to transform your internal environment. And once that shift occurs, the external must eventually follow. Think of it this way: your life moves in the direction of your strongest beliefs. Change your beliefs for 3 days, and you change the trajectory of your life. Let me share a personal example. There was a time when I believed my message could only reach people in my immediate community. That belief limited everything: my impact, my income, my influence. Then I adopted a new belief system. I began to believe that my message was needed worldwide, that I had been given insights that could transform lives across the globe, that borders and oceans were not barriers but bridges. Did my international speaking career launch within 3 days of this belief shift? No, but within 3 days I had taken actions I had never taken before. I had reached out to connections in other countries. I had started researching international conferences. I had begun thinking about how my message might need to adapt for different cultures. And those actions born from that new belief system set a new course. The results came later, but the change in direction happened within those 3 days. This is the power of the 3-day belief system. It's not that everything in your external world changes in 3 days. It's that you change in 3 days. And once you change, everything else must eventually reorganize itself around the new you. Your job is not to figure out how your vision will materialize. Your job is to hold that vision with unwavering belief, to live from your new identity right now, to take inspired action from a place of certainty, and to trust that the how will reveal itself at the perfect time. For too long you've been playing small. You've been believing what others have told you about yourself and your potential. You've been accepting limitations that were never yours to begin with. And it's time for that to end. Starting today, right this moment, I invite you to adopt this new belief system. For the next 3 days, live as if what you desire has already been granted in the invisible realm and is now making its way to you in the visible. Live with the absolute certainty that what you've asked for is already yours. Make decisions from that place. Speak words that align with that truth. Take actions that demonstrate that conviction. Will you face doubts? Of course. Will you encounter evidence that seems to contradict your new belief? Certainly. Will you be tempted to revert to old patterns? Without question. But that's where choice comes in. In those moments, you get to choose which reality you will align with, the old or the new. You get to choose which evidence you will give your attention to, what supports your vision or what contradicts it. You get to choose which voice you will listen to, the voice of possibility or the voice of limitation. Most people live their entire lives as a reflection of what has been rather than a creation of what could be. They use the past as a blueprint for the future. And in doing so, they miss the fundamental truth of human existence. We are creators, not reactors. We are designed to bring forth what does not yet exist, not simply respond to what already does. Your imagination is not a place to escape reality. It is a workshop where new realities are conceived. Your beliefs are not responses to your conditions. They are creators of your conditions. Your words are not descriptions of what is. They are declarations of what will be. For too long, humanity has had it backward. We've been saying, I'll believe it when I see it. But the truth is, you'll see it when you believe it. I once counseled a young teacher who dreamed of establishing a new type of educational program but felt constrained by the traditional system. She believed there was no way to implement her innovative ideas within the existing framework. For 3 days, I asked her to adopt a new belief that the system was actually hungry for innovation, that decision makers were actively seeking fresh approaches, that her ideas weren't just possible but necessary. Within 3 days, her approach to her work transformed completely. Instead of hiding her concepts, she boldly shared them with her principal. Instead of focusing on obstacles, she highlighted potential benefits. Instead of speaking tentatively, she spoke with conviction. Did the entire educational system change in 3 days? Of course not. But her relationship to it changed dramatically. Within 6 months, she was given permission to pilot her program in her own classroom. Within a year, it had been adopted by her entire school. This is how the 3-day belief system works. It doesn't necessarily transform your external circumstances immediately. What it does is transform you. And once you're transformed, your circumstances must eventually reorganize themselves to align with the new you. So I challenge you today to become a revolutionary in your own life, to overthrow the dictatorship of doubt that has ruled for too long, to stage a coup against the limitations that have governed your choices, to declare independence from the past and its hold on your future. For the next 3 days, live from a new constitution, one that declares you are powerful beyond measure, that what you can conceive and believe, you can achieve, that the force that created universes flows through you and expresses as you. I witnessed the business owner who had struggled for years with a ceiling on his income. No matter what strategies he tried, he couldn't break through to the next level. I asked him what he truly believed about wealth. After some reflection, he admitted he believed that making more money would require sacrificing his family life and personal values. No wonder he was stuck. His belief system was creating an invisible barrier. For 3 days, he adopted a new belief that greater wealth would actually allow him to spend more time with his family. That financial abundance was completely aligned with his deepest values, that serving more people would naturally result in earning more without requiring more of his time. Within 3 days, had his income doubled? No, but he had developed a completely new relationship with wealth. He began exploring passive income streams he previously dismissed. He raised his prices to reflect the true value of his services. He delegated tasks he'd been holding on to out of fear. Within 6 months, his income had increased by 40%. Within a year, he had doubled his revenue while working fewer hours than before. Some of you would take this challenge, apply this belief system for 3 days, and see immediate evidence that confirms your vision. Others will need to extend beyond 3 days before that evidence appears. But I promise you this. If you commit to this new way of believing, if you live from certainty rather than hope, if you make decisions based on who you're becoming rather than who you've been, if you take action from a place of absolute knowing rather than tentative trying, your life will transform in ways you can barely imagine right now. The 3-day belief system is not a magic formula. It's a framework for aligning with the way creation actually works. It's about removing the barriers between you and what you were born to become. It's about returning to the natural state of being in which manifestation flows effortlessly. Children understand this intuitively. They don't doubt their ability to learn and grow. They don't question whether they deserve good things. They don't limit their imagination based on what seems realistic. They live in a state of pure potential, pure creativity, pure belief. Somewhere along the way that got conditioned out of you. You were taught to be realistic, to keep your feet on the ground, to not get your hopes up. And those well-intentioned but misguided instructions disconnected you from your natural manifestation abilities. The 3-day belief system is simply a return to what you already knew before you were taught to doubt, before you were conditioned to limit yourself, before you accepted a version of reality that was far smaller than what you were designed to experience. So, as we conclude our time together, I urge you, don't just listen to these words and nod in agreement. Don't just take notes that will gather dust on a shelf. Don't just feel inspired for a moment only to return to old patterns tomorrow. Take this system and apply it for 3 days. Just 3 days. Give it your full commitment. Live as if what you desire is already yours in the invisible realm and is now manifesting in the visible. Make decisions from that place of certainty. Take actions aligned with that belief. Speak words that declare that truth. And watch as the universe begins to reorganize itself around the new you. I've seen too many people attend seminars, read books, listen to talks only to remain unchanged. Knowledge without application is merely entertainment. But you're not here to be entertained. You're here to be transformed. And transformation requires action. The woman who finally launched her business after 7 years of planning her transformation began when she stopped thinking about taking action and actually took action. The man who broke free from debt after decades of financial struggle, his transformation began when he stopped hoping for change and started embodying change. The teacher who revolutionized her classroom, her transformation began when she stopped waiting for permission and started living from authority. Your transformation is no different. It begins the moment you stop waiting and start becoming. For 3 days, I want you to wake up in the morning and immediately declare who you are. Not who you hope to be someday, but who you are choosing to be today. Speak it aloud. Feel it in your body. Let the declaration send tingles down your spine as you recognize the power of your choice in this moment. For 3 days, I want you to scrutinize every decision through the lens of your new identity. Ask yourself, is this aligned with who I've declared myself to be? If the answer is no, have the courage to choose differently, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if it breaks a pattern, even if it contradicts your history. For 3 days, I want you to hunt relentlessly for evidence that confirms your new belief. No matter how small, no matter how seemingly insignificant, acknowledge it, celebrate it, let it fuel you. Your mind will try to dismiss these signs as coincidence or meaningless. Don't allow it. Claim them as confirmation. Remember, your life moves in the direction of your strongest beliefs. For too long, those beliefs have been shaped by limitation, by what others have told you is possible, by what you've experienced in the past. Starting today, take back the power to choose your beliefs consciously, deliberately, powerfully. Choose to believe in the vision that keeps visiting your heart. Choose to believe in the dream that won't let you go. Choose to believe in the purpose that keeps calling to you. And then live from that belief for 3 days. I once worked with a woman who had dreamed of writing a book for 15 years. 15 years of talking about it, thinking about it, planning it, but never actually writing it. When I asked her why, she said, I'm afraid it won't be good enough. Her belief that her work had to be perfect was paralyzing her. For 3 days, I asked her to adopt a new belief that her story needed to be told. Even if imperfectly, that someone was waiting for her specific message. That done was better than perfect. For 3 days, she agreed to write without editing, without judging, without questioning, simply allowing the words to flow from a place of certainty that her message mattered. On the first day, she wrote 5 pages, more than she'd written in the previous 5 years. On the second day, she experienced a moment of clarity about the structure of her book that had eluded her for a decade. On the third day, she shared a passage with a friend who was moved to tears by her words. Had she completed the entire book in 3 days? Of course not. But she had broken through the barrier that had held her captive for 15 years. 6 months later, she had a complete first draft. A year later, her book was published and touching lives. This is the power of the 3-day belief system. Change your beliefs, change your life now, not someday. After 3 days, you'll be transformed. And when you change, everything around you must respond. What will you choose to believe? What vision will you hold with certainty? What identity will you claim today? Your future awaits. Claim it with bold certainty, confident strides, and yes, right now. 3 days, that's it. 3 days of living from a new belief system, making decisions from a new identity, taking action from absolute certainty. After that, the choice is yours. But once you've lived from certainty instead of hope, you'll never go back. Choose now.